So welcome everybody. Hope you're all having a good spring and a happy May so far. I want to just make a few remarks. I want to thank everyone who helped at the plant sale, which I think was a nice success. It wasn't the, huge success that our earlier ones were, but I think it was very decent. I mean, I think it was fun and good to get together. We met the public, we talked to each other, we shared some plants. Apparently, we got at least one new member, which is really exciting. And I really thank again the homeowners, Louise, Fong, and Landry. I know it's a big deal to have the sale, and of course, all the volunteers that helped. So thank you. And perhaps Dorothy will have the final number for us, maybe in the treasurer's report. I didn't warn you about that, Dorothy, but you might. But I think it was a good showing, and people were happy. And I think all the times that we're able to get our name and the fact of the club's existence out to the public is good publicity. And along those lines, I want to say something about oh, well, first, let me say more about the plant sale is that I found out from Eileen Libby that she took all the leftover books. We never have had very much success selling books either at the club meetings or at the plant sales. Eileen took the leftover books to Pegasus and got a $45 credit, which is, I think, far more than we would have gotten selling them $1 or $2 a piece. So I think that was a good solution. And in the future, Eileen and I discussed maybe she will just do that first instead of after the plant sale. Of course, when we used to meet in person, it was nice to have those books to browse. So we'll have to think about that. But I think that was very creative of Eileen to think of that. And it showed that those books were valuable, that because a $45 credit means that they're going to sell them for double or triple that at a used bookstore. So that's pretty good. So thank you again so much for all of that. I want to segue just a little bit into 4th of July because I'm thinking about publicity for the club and getting our name out there. We have rented a booth for 4th of July, but just one. And we don't intend to have a plant sale, although that could be negotiable. We could have a few plants, but I think it should be an information booth. I think it should be maybe a little bit like the Master Gardeners in that we get our name out there, we have some brochures, maybe we have our nice display boards of what the club does, the study group boards and things like that. We're going to share the booth with Robin's organization, the El Cerrito Community Garden Network, and she'll have, I don't know what, information also. And so we'll need a few volunteers to be at the booth. I think it'll just be a fun day. It won't be hard work like the plant sales used to be. So please think about 4th of July and whether you would like to do that it will be at the park, just like the olden days. And I think it will be fun to just meet the public and give away. Maybe we'll have a seed giveaway. Maybe we'll have little seedlings that we give away for free, or I don't know. It's up in the air still. Dorothy.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
One year, we had a section of the booth that was free plants for kids.
Oh.
And it was little succulents in 1-inch pots. And we had a brochure on how to take care of the plants. That would be another idea.
Thanks, Dorothy. I love that. And I remember that little piece of paper. I actually, I had some of those left, which I showed to Louise at the plant sale, and they had been nibbled on by snails. So that little pieces of paper were all, had little holes in them and stuff. So snails love paper, I'll just tell you. But thank you. That's a great idea. Some free thing for the kids. Anna has those succulent things, I know, and I think it's great to give out that kind of information. I think the club should be, informing the public, not on the level of the master gardeners who, do the research and find like scientific answers to things, but on the amateur level, where we can give away our information and our experience, which I think is great. And right now, we don't really need to make more money. In the future, I'm sure we will want to make money again, but right now we've got lots of money. So that's my thought about that. Okay, I'll have more announcements later, but maybe we could go to the treasurer's report, Dorothy, if you're ready. Thank you.
Okay, to quantify lots of money.
Exactly.
We have $15,709.12.
Do you happen to have the figures for the plant sale? I didn't ask you for them.
Yeah, just a second.
Okay.
The plant sale to date brought in $15,029.25.
What?
I think it was
Oh, wait a minute.
1,500.
No, wait a minute, that's wrong.
That would be miraculous.
You might have gathered this. It's $1,529.28. 25.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is
It's 1529.25.
that is more than I dreamed of.
Wow.
Thank you, Dorothy. That's fantastic. Amazing. All right. And anything else from the Treasury that you'd like to announce, or anything else? No. We want to remind people that Dorothy is retiring in June, and so any reimbursements that you need for something that you did for the club, be sure to get to her before June 30th. Is it, Dorothy? Yeah. And then Robin and Pam will be stepping into Dorothy's enormous shoes, unfillable shoes, and we'll hope that that'll be a smooth transition, and that we hope that Dorothy will help them as they get to know what to do. But again, Dorothy, we just thank you so much for decades of dedicated work on our behalf. And I hope you're thinking about the next office or committee that you want to be in charge of, Dorothy, because you'll have free time now that you won't be the treasurer. You have so many gifts to give. We really appreciate it. Okay, thank you. And other officer reports. Landry, do you want to say something about programs, etc.?
Sorry, I was in the midst of a side conversation with Fong about looking at sites. I wanted to tell people that next month, Martha and I are organizing a trip to Hida Tool, and we're going to be interviewing the person who owns the place and walking around the shop and looking at various options for tools, and talking to him also, or her also, about how to take care of these tools. So we're going to be doing this after hours. We have to plan an evening time with him, preferably while there's still daylight coming into the store so that we can video the thing. And I think we're just going to be using our phones to record him. I don't think we're going to be bringing a camera or anything. Is that right? So this is experimental, as everything is in program these days. So we're going to find out how this works out. This might be something we do in the future in terms of other remote sites that we can't take the club to as a group, but we could take a camera to and get some information.
Right.
So that's the plan for June, and that's the last program, and it will also be the meeting where we install officers. So let's talk about that at the board meeting next week, if we can finalize it.
Thanks, Landry. So I want to say about the tool meeting that it would be great to hear from club members also.
Yeah.
What are their favorite tools?
Yes.
What works the best and why? You know,
Yes.
I'm sure there are some good tool users here
Mhm.
whose tools are not rusty and neglected like mine are. So that would be really great. Yes, Fong.
Um, is next week the board meeting? I mean, the program meeting.
No,
We
board
don't
meeting.
have a program meeting set.
Oh, okay.
yet.
Can I say something quickly?
We
I
have
had a wonderful discovery while I'm doing the native garden tour with my neighbor,
Uh-huh.
and we went to the Pollinator Corridor, something like that. I met with a fantastic lady who has a lovely name. Her name is Emmy. Emmy, which means, you know, and she say that, you know, next April will be the best. She will talk about caterpillar, about, you know, how you get the, you know, the plant for pollinators. She will bring a caterpillar, and, you know, and talk to us either Zoom or in person.
Mhm.
And she will tell us about the pollinators and all that, because they that pollinator corridor they were doing how you say the outside of their house, you know, the place that you usually have junks and grasses growing, you know. So they do a pollinator garden, and 4 or 5 families get together, and then they have this beautiful and very interesting. Is somebody with she's the reason she said April, because it's when the caterpillars you know, we had
Yeah.
caterpillars for her to do the demo,
I
you
see.
know. So it's something to think about. I have
Wow.
yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, she think about bees and everything. She says she's not an entomologist, is what you call. She is not, but she does it from experience. You
Mhm.
know, a lay person like us. So I think she
Yeah.
will relate more than a
Uh-huh.
person just talking science. You know?
Yeah.
that Fong. That's a great tip for the program
Yes.
committee meeting when we
Yeah.
finally have the meeting.
When that
April
happens.
next year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Be
Mhm.
sure to note that down so that when you come to the program committee meeting,
Yeah, you can bring.
you can bring that up.
Mhm.
Thank you for that. And I'll say about the Pollinator Corridor that there is a video of that on the Bringing Back the Natives website and YouTube channel where she shows the street. It's just one block long. And she talks about the creation of that corridor where they went around and they asked several neighbors, and I think it was as many as 15 different homeowners agreed to have their part of their front yard or their median strip, their sidewalk strip, planted for this project so that it would be a continuous block for the pollinators. So that's from, you know, Bringing Back the Natives, a fantastic tour, and lots of videos are online of those different places, including the Pollinator Corridor. Yes, Bonnie Mac.
Excuse me. You know that freeway sound route wall that was decorated by, was it Louise and somebody else?
It's
Mhm.
Bernadette and me.
Bernadette and you, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Sometime in a little snippet in a program, perhaps we could have a little video of that
Mhm.
before it goes away.
Mhm.
Thank you. I hope it's not going to go away. I hope it's going to get bigger and grow. But yes, we have thought about uh, showing it to
Good
the
idea.
club when it's a little more grown up.
Hmm.
Right now, the plants are pretty small.
Well, I was also interested in the mural.
Oh yeah, the mural.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Thank you. Great. Thanks, Bonnie. Yes, Lemural.
Martha, we went by yesterday and saw the mural and all your plants, and they are doing beautifully, it seems.
It's a
Thank you.
very large group of plants. Very impressive.
Thank you. That is totally thanks to Bernadette, who gets the city guy to come with a water truck, and then she gets out with the little hose and she waters them all about every 2 weeks, and that has kept them going. Thank you very much. We'll talk more about that later at another meeting. But let's go on with our meeting today. And thank you for those kind words. Other officer reports. Officer, that's a committee.
I'm not an officer, I'm a committee.
I know, I'm not to you yet.
I'm sorry.
Just want to check about officers. No. I'll say that there's still an officer position open, which is corresponding secretary. At the board meeting, we'll talk more about what that job is, but that is, if you feel like being an officer and in what seems like not too big of a position, corresponding secretary might be a good one for you. All right, committee reports. Shall we start with Sundar Shadi Committee?
The list of the 15 outstanding gardens have been sent to the judges, and we have 8 judges, and I think that's plenty. Wouldn't you know it? Sorry. I'm on a Zoom. I'm going to have to call back. Where am I? Oh, the lists have been sent to the judges, and I want to encourage the judges who are here to go and look at the beautiful gardens and send me the results pretty much soon as possible. So I think we could, yeah, by next week, I would appreciate having the results of your judging. And we did have a snafu. We had a correction, which hopefully all of you got via email, for one of the addresses. And possibly you are missing a page, which was distressing, but the chairman did not count pages when she put them together. So anyway, let me know if you're missing a page, and check the Bonnie address to make sure that you got the correction.
The correction is that it's 520 Bonnie, not 420 Bonnie.
Is that the right one?
Yes.
Okay.
Dorothy?
If it's possible, please give me the names of those people before the end of June, so that it doesn't get caught up in the transition to a
Thank
new
you.
treasurer.
I'm sure Louise plans to have the winners announced early, so thank you for that reminder, Dorothy.
Yes.
Right now we are just looking at judging the gardens, so we haven't gotten
So
that far
as soon
yet.
as the garden, as soon as I get the paperwork, we pretty much, if we're in agreement, we'll come up with the 3 outstanding gardens. If not, we'll have to go back over a smaller number. So there may be 6 that are all in the running, and we have to go back, but I won't know until the judging is in. So thank you, judges, if you're here, for doing that. And I look forward to receiving the forms.
Thanks, Louise. Great.
I also, I'm sorry, I also will be announcing via email, broad email to the whole club when we're going to be presenting them in person. And hopefully some of you will be able to join us at the presentations.
Those are so fun. Thank you. That's great. Okay. El Cerrito High School Garden, the youth project. Sarah's not here this morning, but I said that I would.
Carrie is here. She already come. Oh, okay.
Could somebody mute, please mute themselves? Thank you. That there is a garden open house. The El Cerrito High School Garden is having an open house this Saturday May 14th from 11 to 2. And she's going to have activities for kids and I don't know, giveaways. And it sounds really, really fun. I'm sorry I can't go, but anyone who hasn't been by the high school garden or seen it close up or is interested, that's a good day to go. Saturday from 11 to 2. Sarah will be there with a big open house showing everything that's going on there. So highly recommended. It's a fantastic project, a fantastic garden. I already mentioned July 4th, so we've done that. Other committees who would like to say something? Fong and Landry are a new committee who are looking for a possible new place to meet in the fall. If we don't want to go back to the community center because of its acoustic problems and its sound problems. So if you have ideas about large community rooms that seem like they wouldn't be too expensive and might accommodate maybe 40 of us plus a table and possibly plant table in the future and possible refreshment table in the future, please let Fong and Landry know. Landry?
Yes. I think we have 2 or 3 sites to investigate right now. And if there are other sites, I don't know, do people feel they need to be inside of El Cerrito? Not necessarily. Okay, then let's broaden that and ask people to let us know about any large meeting sites. We're especially interested in the acoustics, of course, but we're also interested in things like ventilation and background events, what's going on around our meeting. I assume we want to keep the meeting the same day and time, and that's one of the questions that we probably will be exploring. If we find a really promising site and it's not available at our time, should we bring that back to the board? Okay, we will do so. Thank you.
Thank you. That is terrific. Fong has also taken over another new job. And Fong, do you want to say anything about who has what and the equipment manager job? You're muted, dear.
I'm not sure about the who has what portion yet, okay? Because, but I want to set a date that people bring me the canopies and the sign to put in my garage, okay? Not Mondays and Fridays. That's my babysitting day until the end of the month. In June, I think they don't come to my house anymore because it's a holiday. So, but I mean a summer vacation. So, I give you a couple of days would be good. Is the 19th of this month, the 19th, the 24th, the 25th, the 26th,
Wow.
and the
Fong,
31st. So
Fong,
any of these days.
Excuse me, Fong. I think it'd be better if people just could contact you and find out a good time to come.
Right.
Individually.
But those are the days.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay.
So the point is that our stuff is kind of all over the place in people's garages. Originally, we kept a list called Who Has What. Fong has a copy of that list. It hasn't been updated since 2019. And so some of those things are no longer in people's garages, or some people don't think they ever had it in the first place, whatever. There's sort of a mix up about where garden club equipment is. So what we're going to try to do is have it pretty centralized. The kind of larger things like the canopies and other the banners and other equipment would be kept at Fong's so that we would always know where stuff is.
Yeah. Oh, also, Lisa Chilton says she has the Christmas stuff and she wants to keep it there.
Okay, yeah. So that's fine, Fong. However you want to arrange it is fine. We still could have stuff in different places, but you will know where things are.
Okay.
That's my idea.
Okay.
And thank you for volunteering for that. That's terrific. Okay. the last thing I can think of before I go on to other committees and study groups is the 4th of July, no, 4th of July, no, this possible summer picnic.
Yes.
I haven't really moved too far ahead on that. Waiting for the current upsurge to level out possibly, but I'm thinking that maybe that's really not going to happen. So our thought was a picnic again at the Arlington Clubhouse. So it could be outdoors. We'd have the indoor to sort of do whatever and bathrooms and things, but there would be the outdoor picnic area that we would have that on a Thursday, the end of June possibly, or possibly in July. July is also possible, I think. I have checked the website for that facility, and as far as I can tell, the rentals are open. You know, it's not booked by anybody else for those days. So I guess I would solicit, you know, opinions about, well, I think we'll do it. And whoever feels safe coming can come. We can wear masks. It can be outdoors, and we'll talk more about it at the board meeting. But just so that you know, that is in the works of thinking about either end of July, end of June, or possibly in July sometime, an outdoor picnic. Good. All right. Other committees or study groups?
I did want to make.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you are a committee, and I am calling on you, membership committee. Thank you.
Yeah, just a reminder, even if you guys have all paid your dues and sent the form in, if you know other people who are in the club, you might just ask them, remind them they need to pay their dues or they won't be in the directory. Because it's a little interesting who hasn't paid. It looks like some people have just forgot. So that's our plea.
Thanks, Carrie. Yes. So the last I heard from Jean, I think she said that there were about 30 people that hadn't renewed yet. I don't know if that's been updated since then, but actually that's a pretty good percentage. I think that 60 people have renewed. It sounds like.
Really?
So
Yeah.
so
Really?
that's terrific. And reminder that checks are being sent to Jean Hewitt, and that there is a deadline for the yearbook, and maybe Bonnie can remind us what that deadline should be. But what we've usually done is if someone hasn't paid their dues by the time the yearbook is being put out, then their name is dropped from the directory, and we don't want to do that.
And the bad thing from Jean and my point of view is that we're really committed that if people haven't paid in the next couple of weeks, we have to phone them. So we have to start phoning everyone. And that's like hard work.
Yeah.
Very
well, you
hard
could
work.
maybe put out a reminder email to those.
Yeah,
people
first. Yeah.
See what happens. Thank you, Carrie. Louise.
I was just going to suggest a general email. That way you're not pinpointing anybody, to the entire club saying, if you haven't paid your dues, please send now. I think people just refuse to read and respond. So the email seems to be pretty effective.
We'll see.
Yeah, we can try that. Thank you. I think that the fact that Carrie and Jean sent out an actual piece of mail should make it easier for people to remember, but maybe they're disorganized like I am and have lost that piece of paper, even though it was bright pink or bright blue.
They were really cute, right?
Very nice. That was really good. Thank you. Thank you. And Bonnie Smith, would you mind reminding us about yearbook deadlines and when it needs to go to press, or when we need all those names in, if you're available for that?
As soon as possible.
That's, of course, yeah. But would we say July 1st or something like that as a possible deadline?
You can if you want to, but nobody adheres to that. So I have at time of print, that's what goes.
Okay, as soon as possible is what we're going to say. Thank you. Thanks, Bonnie. Okay, what other committees have I forgotten? Anybody? No.
Native plants.
I'm sorry? I'm sorry?
Native plants,
Oh, no, these are study groups.
study groups, right?
Yeah, so we're going to go to study groups next. And Pam, would you like to say something about the edibles group?
So the edibles group grew plant starts for the plant sale. Otherwise, we haven't had the meeting yet this month, but it's time to, well, hopefully I'll already have started summer kinds of plants, right? So squash and all that kind of thing. And so we will be talking more about that at our meeting.
And the meeting is
The is it third or fourth?
fourth Thursday.
Correct, fourth Thursday. So this month it will be the 26th.
Right. So the fourth Thursday at noon. And if you don't already get a Zoom link to that group and you're interested in the edibles group, please let Pam or me know and we can add you to the Zoom list. Thanks, Pam.
Yes.
And the native plants study group is going great. And we are going to meet again on next Thursday evening at 7 p.m. And again, if you haven't already come to some of those Zoom meetings and would like the Zoom link for the native plants group, please let me or Robin know, and we will send you the link. The native plants group. Succulents, Anna or someone?
And we don't, I think we all depleted our supplies for the plant sale. Everybody really put out just lots and lots of really beautiful succulent arrangements. It's interesting finding this not just here, but at the Botanic Garden also. There's just a really big interest in what you can grow inside. I don't have plants in my house because of my cats, but a lot of people have apartments or whatever, and they want to grow the plants and they like our plants. I noticed that a lot at people that came to Fong's house. Some of her really wonderful neighbors all wanted to know what to do to keep the plants indoors. And that really does seem to be a new theme. So we don't have a meeting set up right now. I'm going to work on getting something either late May or June, just for us to get together again. I guess we'll be starting over with a lot of new plants. I have a whole box of cuttings again. So that's it for that. But anyway, I wanted to thank everybody in the group who provided such wonderful plants for the sale.
Clark.
Thanks, Anna. The succulent group always comes through. My gosh, you guys provided so many beautiful plants. Thank you so much. How about the flowers group? Kate?
We were going to have a tour of a member's garden, but that garden is not going to be available. So I thought we would go back to our usual third Wednesday of the month at 10 o'clock. And since we didn't get to do Blake Gardens last month, that we would meet at Blake Gardens on the upper end of the garden on Rincon Road. And, obviously it's Blake Gardens, it's open to everyone. So that I thought we'd do sort of a makeup of Blake Gardens. So whomever can join us, that would be wonderful. If you've been before, it's worth seeing again. And if you've never been, you will be a frequent visitor. It's quite lovely. So third Wednesday, 10 o'clock on the upper end of the garden.
And it's free.
So is this coming this Thursday, the 19th?
No, it's the third Wednesday at 10 o'clock.
So the 18th?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. We meet at Blake's Garden?
Yes, on the upper end on Rincon Road. 10 o'clock. People can call me if they want more information or if they want a carpool. That's certainly doable because sometimes parking can get a little tight, not usually, but it can. So people can just call if they're interested in going, or we can just meet there either way.
Great. Thank you, Kate. Yeah, Blake Gardens is very beautiful, and I'm sure it's just in full bloom right now, which would be great. Fantastic. The herb group had a sort of a rocky month, unsure about our meeting, but we ended up, a few of us ended up going again to the Beer Garden restaurant by West Bray Nursery and having a nice lunch. We didn't actually talk about any herbs, unfortunately, but we kept meeting, and I'm not exactly sure what the June meeting looks like, but it will be in the newsletter. The herb group will go on.
Yes.
Yes, good. Yes, Fong.
June is June 2nd, right?
Yes.
Well, you can also meet at my place.
Okay, so we can talk about that later. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Offer. Yeah, thank you. You're always so generous to offer, Fong. Thank you. Okay, I think that's all of our study groups. Did any committee want to say anything else? If not, maybe we'll go into our slideshow, and if people have other announcements to make, let's make them at the end. Oh, although I will say about the old roses. I mentioned it before we started the meeting, but let's say it again, that the Heritage Rose Show, the celebration of old roses, is back, I think for the first time since the pandemic started. It's this Sunday from 11 to 3:30, and it's in Albany at the Veteran Memorial Building, which is on Portland, 1325 Portland. And I've never gone to that show, but I've always heard it's really fantastic. And our own two members, Paula Shu and Norma Buffin, are going to be vendors of their beautiful arts and crafts at the show. So if nothing else, you'll get to see them.
Come visit me.
And some gorgeous roses. So this Sunday, this is a busy weekend. El Cerrito High School Garden on Saturday and the Heritage Rose Show on Sunday. So I hope people can make it to that and see some new old roses, right? Norma, did you want to say anything else about the Rose Show?
No, just that we haven't had anything for a couple of years. And I was very surprised and happy to receive the invite. So,
and Norma, are the roses for sale, or are they just?
There are vendors, yes. Have plant vendors.
But also it's just a showing of different kinds as well.
Yes, they have them labeled, which helps.
Yeah. Yes, it does help. Beautiful. Thank you, Norma.
Sure.
Good. Okay. Well, with no further ado, let's go to our program, which is the photos that people have sent me from their gardens. And I really thank everyone that shared photos with me. Some of them are just, some people just sent one photo. That's fine. That was fine. That's what Landry had said at the beginning would be good. And other people sent more, to show more about what's growing in their garden right now. And of course, normally we have an in-person tour of the gardens, and this is the best we could do in Zoom, and I think it works pretty well. So while I'm showing your slides, if you sent me photos, if you want to say anything about them, please unmute yourself, and also please tell me to advance the slide, right? Because it's a slideshow that I'm going to be moving the slides forward. So if I don't hear anything from you, then we'll just stop for a few seconds and go on to the next. If you don't want to talk about your pictures, that's fine too. but we would like to hear from you if you want to say something about your pictures. And, oh dear, we're already not moving. Well, now we're starting with Mary Mashuta's beautiful little guest cottage. And Mary sent me this photo last month, and I just think it looks like something out of a fairy tale with what I assume is Cecil Bruner roses, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And Mary, I don't know if you want to comment on it or not, but I know because a friend of mine lived there for a year that it's a charming, beautiful little cottage. And with Roberta's beautiful garden outside. Thank you.
Is it for rent currently?
No, I don't think so. I think Mary got a new renter after my.
I have a new renter.
Thank you, Mary.
Okay. This was the first family that lived in my house in Berkeley. He was the first minister of the North Brae Church. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. And so they built, it's a little bit bigger than a garage. They built this and they met there until the big church was built.
Oh.
So somewhere, I don't have it, but somewhere there's a picture of the congregation standing out front.
Oh my goodness.
So it's a nice little cottage. My dad lived there the last 9 years of his life.
Wow.
So when we moved in, it was like an old garage with garage doors. It was falling apart. And so we had it, redone. And my dad lived there the last 9 years of his life. So he was right there so we could take care of him. And, he came up and had 2 meals a day and whatever. So it was perfect. And he could have his TV. It has extra soundproofing so he could have his TV as loud as he wanted. And then we had a renter for 21 years. And when he left, it was a colossal mess. And we had to have it all redone. And then we had Susan there, who was a perfect person, but she's moved to Portland. And so we have a friend of hers that's living there now. So he doesn't garden. Susan helped garden. He doesn't garden, but he pays his rent on time. So that's important.
That is great.
And he doesn't do a lot of entertaining.
Thank you, Mary. That's so charming. Thanks. Thank you for sharing that.
Okay.
Sylvia Falcon sent me this. I don't think Sylvia's on the call today, but I loved that she sent me the full description of what there is. You can see the milkweed in the front looking super healthy. Fennel for the anise swallowtail butterflies to lay their eggs on. Very, very important. And then, of course, our beautiful poppies. And then buttermilk poppies are the white ones here. And then the red poppies. And then in the back here, her vegetable garden. So quite wonderful. I'm happy that she sent that for us. All right. So Eileen Libby couldn't be here this morning, but she sent me a few photos from her garden of some fun things. And I will go through them. We'll just appreciate them. Oh, she commented about this lupin, the purple lupin, that it was an unusual, some kind of hybrid. She hasn't figured out what it is, but it doesn't look like a regular lupin to us. And then, as with several of our members, she's got some beautiful roses and some wonderful foxglove. Those look so great. And then Mellory, good morning, Mellory. If you want, I know you're here. If you want to say anything, I'm really interested in your Roadrunner sculpture, and then the Aeonium is so colorful and bright. If you want to say anything, you don't have to.
Roadrunner, I did not make it myself, but it's made from garden tools and bicycle parts.
Oh, wow.
I found it at an art show and had to have it, so I had it.
Oh, fantastic. I love that. And then this combination, very striking. Beautiful.
Wow.
And this is so charming. This is another one that looks like it should be in a storybook to me.
Very, very nice.
I love the color combination and the different shapes.
Ah.
Wow. And Sparaxis is a bulb, isn't it?
Yes.
I don't know Sparaxis. It's very striking. Gorgeous. And then your marmalade bush, and I know Nancy has a marmalade bush too. This is such an interesting plant. Do you prune yours very much, Mallory? It's quite sedate in size.
Only when it comes over my walkway or a branch gets broken. It's still pretty new. It's only been in the ground about a year, so
Oh,
it's kind of new.
I think it's going to get quite a bit bigger.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Okay. And then,
Anybody know what this is?
it's very delicate and pretty. I don't know it. We'll have to get some bulb experts going on that.
Not Clavia, not Clavia,
What is it?
Clavia.
No.
No? Okay.
No. Okay, thank you, Mallory. Marianne sent me these. The wonderful sticky monkey flower. And is the orange succulent, Marianne?
Yes, yes. It's an ice plant.
Oh, an
Sorry.
ice plant, yeah. Oh, maybe what Anna has also. Is
Yes.
Beautiful, and that monkey is big.
Yes, it is. I just love these colors together. It's so bright.
Yeah, and so this is also a succulent in the
Oh,
back?
yes. Succulent in bloom. Yes. Bright yellow. Actually, the picture doesn't do it justice. It was brighter than that.
Beautiful. Yeah, the color combination is in the picture is kind of subtle, but you're saying in person it's really bright. Huh? And then the beautiful rock rose.
Yeah.
Those are so nice. Here's your beautiful close-up of that.
I love them.
That is just amazing, and how the petals are so papery, sort of.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Yes, they only last a day or two.
Oh, but luckily quite a few on each plant, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Marianne. Beautiful. All right. Kate sent me quite a few, and I had to just pick and choose because there were so many. Every inch of her garden has something colorful. So Kate, you can choose whatever you want to say something about. Here's our beautiful Bodie, the best garden.
He's my garden helper. I can't do it without him, according to him. He's a supervisor. So he's out every day supervising. You can just click through them. I didn't name them, so you can just click through them. I only grow flowers with the exception of a few others, but it's what I like and they seem to do well. So I keep growing them.
What were the bright blue ones on the first slide?
Probably lobelia.
Those are lobelia.
Yes, lobelia.
Yeah, that first slide, I think they were different.
I think they were lobelia close up.
Yeah.
They were, okay.
Yeah, I like lobelia because they self-sow everywhere and they're so easy to grow.
You can really see that here, how they've
Yeah.
skipped from their
Those on the strip just came on their own from pots that were there earlier.
Thank you.
And it comes in different colors, but that dark blue is my favorite.
Yes.
And
lots of roses, and the roses are doing beautifully this year. I think they loved our heavy rain way back in December, and I do feed a lot, and I think that makes a big difference. And petunias, I think, are a very overlooked, underappreciated flowers. I'm growing more and more of them, and they do so well in our area. Next. Just more flowers. These are all going to be flowers, so bear with me. And there's lots of them. Delphinium, I always thought were kind of difficult to grow. I just seeded these and they came up in big numbers and everything from the purple to the white. So I'm really hooked on Delphinium now because they were just so easy to grow.
Those must attract so many bees, I would think.
We have lots and lots of bees. If you want bees in your yard, grow flowers. You will get them in all kinds.
This picture you called mix and match, and you can see, maybe people can see that there's a clematis, a pink clematis here with the pink rose. It's very cool how they're growing together.
They do very well together.
Beautiful.
And fig, and I want to say thank you to Cece. Cece gave this fig to my mom quite a few years ago, and it's been producing really good figs from the first year on. So thank you to Cece.
It looks very healthy and happy.
More flowers. Can't go wrong. They're all flowers.
So many different color combinations. It's really, it really shows how the floral world is very diverse. Say something about your abutilons, because they're in the shade, they're under your trees.
They grow very easily. They flower wonderfully. I have some that were volunteers. I did not plant. They just came up, I guess, thanks to a bird. I highly recommend them, and they'll bloom off and on year round.
Nice.
Kate, what was the flower on the right, the pink?
No, I'm sorry. Yes, it's a clematis. I'm experimenting with them. And that has been in the ground for about 3 years and blooms beautifully. It's just starting to bud out.
Thank you.
Wow.
Color, color, more color. You can move through them, Martha, as you wish.
I want to point out to people all of these self-seeded
Violas.
You know, they started in a pot, like all of your things, and then, you know, now they're just covering the ground around the pots.
My favorite flower.
Yes, we know.
Oh, I do want to mention this fuchsia is from Jenny Kay, the little store there on Stockton. She's now selling plants, and I've purchased 3. And as you can see, they are doing really well. So if you want to support a little local business, Jenny Kay on Stockton she doesn't have a huge selection. She's not a nursery, but she does have some outdoor plants, and their health is really good.
And this is that old Berkeley fuchsia, which is a nice variety.
More roses. More roses, more roses. I have a lot.
You have a lot.
And my non-flower, although it does have a very subtle flower occasionally, this maple I just love because it comes back so readily every year, and it's just so pretty.
It's a weeping maple, isn't it?
I believe so, yes.
Sort of a moundy thing instead of an upright tree.
And Clarkia, they just self-sow. I put them in 1 year and they come back readily, and they need almost no care. So, I mean, I think the self-sow for me is a big one. To get free plants, don't have to do anything. That's just a win-win.
Clarkia is a wonderful native wildflower.
Yes. Oh, this one on the left, I don't know the Latin name. The common name is Candice Hero or pocketbook flower because it looks like a little tiny handbag. They are just fabulous. They bloom their little heads off. They are perennial, and I just think they're absolutely charming.
This is the fuchsia at your mom's house, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's such an unusual one too.
It blooms beautifully.
Huge shrub, huge. Now we're back in your mom's part of the garden.
Yeah, as was shown before, a marmalade bush. Ours got hit by, I think, maybe whiteflies, but it's coming back. I've just been spraying it with water to help get rid of them, and it does seem to be helping. And on the right is sage, blooms off and on year round if you keep it trimmed back. On the right, it's a California native whose name I do not remember. It was recommended to us by a tour we had by somebody who works for the Parks Department. And it will self-sow again, a winner. And the yellow flower is just beautiful.
I think that the native is Camisonia.
Okay. I'll not dispute that. I don't know.
Annie's Annuals has it. I had it last year and mine died. So I'm happy to see yours.
Oh, it is a, well, we treat it as an annual, but it self-sows really nicely. I don't believe it's a perennial. I could be wrong, but ours just seem to self-sow.
Well, it's very beautiful.
We'll have to go see her garden.
Yeah, yeah. Her garden is worth the trip, that's for sure.
And that's my hardworking supervisor. Oh, this little guy on the left, we call him Mr. Fatty. It's a pine shrub of some sort from Washington. And I just absolutely love him. He's got a lot of personality. It's a little hard to see in the picture, but he's just full of personality.
As is the one on the right.
Yeah, he's supervising. Yes, he's working
This is
hard.
the end of the day. He's relaxing.
Yes, he's been working hard all day.
Thank you, Kate. I'm sorry I couldn't show hundreds of your.
Sorry for overwhelming you with my flower pictures, but I get carried away. I am a flower fan.
They were all so wonderful. Thank you very much for sharing. They just look wonderful. And again, anyone who hasn't been to Kate's garden, you must go by. I mean, even just from the street or the sidewalk, if Kate and Nancy aren't home, you can see a lot. So you don't even have to necessarily go in. All right. Thank you, Kate. And Landry?
I'm looking at Landry's quick.
So
this is Mary. Can I say something?
Edible sweet peas.
The Berkeley Rose Garden is in full bloom.
Yes.
And it's absolutely incredible. I've made 2 trips. They redid the huge big arbor. Anyway, it's worth a trip to Berkeley.
Thank you. Yeah, it's on Spruce.
Yeah, it's way up.
Yeah, up on Spruce. Thank you. I always seem to go there when they're not in bloom, so it's nice.
Yeah, they're in bloom.
I think it's Euclid.
On Euclid above Spruce.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
It is wonderful up there. Thank you very much, Mary. Okay, Landry, you let me know if you want to talk about things or not.
Just a little bit. You know, this edible sweet pea was a discovery this year, and I sold a bunch of starts at the plant sale. I hope some of you got them. This is a sweet pea that I kept all the pods that got too old, and I'm seeing if I can generate the same plant next year. And it may be that it's some kind of special mix and it's not going to come out true. But this has been so much fun because first you have the flowers and then you have purple edible peas that stay purple when you cook them.
Oh.
And they're just gorgeous. So I want to encourage people to experiment because you don't have to choose the sweet or the edible. You can have both.
Oh.
Next.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is, you can see them mixed here with classic sweet peas. Next. Okay, this is a Japanese wisteria that's now 6 years old. This is the 2nd year it has flowered. It is the first Japanese wisteria I've ever grown. I'm really used to the Chinese ones. These have the long, long, long racemes that are glorious. Next. And this is just the scene at my, at one end of my patio. And you can see the fountain and all the plants, many of them destined for the plant sale that are all lined up. Next.
Oh, yes, I see all those little flags there.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Next. Yeah. Okay. This is what I call the orange garden. It used to all be roses, but it's now mixed with amazing alstroemerias and irises. And I think this little thing in here is some kind of a, I don't even remember its name. I have about 6 different plants in this area fighting for sun, and it's kind of fun that way. Next. Okay, the poppy path. Those of you who have visited when the poppies are happening know that I allow the poppies to pretty much take over my garden for about 6 weeks in the spring. I once grew half a dozen of these regular lavender breadseed poppies. And as I was pulling out the old poppies and walking out through my pathways, I ended up seeding this everywhere. So this is my returning gift every year. It's a frenemy because at first it's just glorious, but then after a while, it feels like you're in a jungle and you have to start pulling them out. Next.
That color is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. This is my sticky monkey flower. It is a hybrid. I don't think it's quite as good for the environment as the native version, but I'm a pink girl. So for me, this is the one. Next.
That is an unusual one, that light pink. I love that.
Yeah, it's
That's
really fun.
pretty. Yeah.
Next.
There's so many different monkeys.
Yeah, I found out this is a Moroccan poppy. I misnamed it, but Moroccan poppies, if you keep deadheading them, keep blooming all summer. So that's like a 3 or 4 month flower. Next.
What a shocking color.
It is, and they stay fairly small, so you can kind of incorporate them in lots of places. Next.
Beautiful.
Okay, floss flower. This is corundum or something like that, but it is a really fun plant to grow. It's got basically black leaves and these amazing lavender flowers, and it gets to be about 3 by 3, and it's very sturdy.
How long do the flowers stay?
About 6 weeks, and then if you cut the whole thing down, it comes back again before the end of the summer.
I don't know that flower at all. Wonderful.
I know. Next.
Beautiful.
Yeah, just another close-up of my, now you can see the poppy with everything else.
Wonderful color combination.
Okay, next. Yeah, I have a lot of vertical interest now in my garden. It started out one level, but now it's just many levels. And this is through the arch as you walk up the path, and you can see there's clematis on one side and hollyhocks. All of these hollyhocks are volunteers. So Kate, I know exactly what you mean about letting them reproduce themselves. And these are the halo hollyhocks that are very sturdy and are wonderful every year in many colors.
Are those 6 feet tall, or?
Some of them are 7 and 8. And believe me, when they plant themselves, they are planted much better than when we plant them. So the volunteers are the best. Yeah. Next.
Can I find out, can someone mute themselves, please? There's a, I don't know if it's a phone call or what, but it's a little distracting.
Oh, sad. Now, clematis I've been growing for many years, and now I must have half a dozen different plants around the garden. They are very demanding. They want a big pot all to themselves. Some of them stay small. They don't ever kind of amount to anything much, but I love them. So I give them a lot of room. Next.
That's a wonderful close-up. I think now we're going to Mendocino.
Okay, so I wasn't here last meeting, and the reason is I was here. This is the Mendocino Botanical Gardens, and for anybody who's never been, you can see it's an amazing combination of plants and sculptures and art. It's also a trek of about half a mile from the gate all the way through the garden, and to the coast, and you'll see the ocean at the end of this walkway. It's a wonderful combination of plants, many, many, many different kinds of plants, but it was built around a rhododendron dell. And the rhododendrons, you will see, some of them are 30, 40 feet tall now, and it's basically a half-mile walk of rhododendrons, which is kind of amazing. Next. Yeah. These are close-ups of just a little bit of the meadow that you're walking through. Next.
Do you know what those are? Are they larkspur?
Columbine, yeah.
Columbines.
Columbine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're both columbines.
Wonderful.
Next. Okay, I have planted this as a result of seeing it in bloom at the garden. It's a Geranium monsterosa. Isn't that incredible? Yeah, and it is about 3 or 4 feet across.
Yeah.
Next.
Those are wild.
Yeah, literally. Now we're in the rhododendrons, and this is one of the most amazing colors. You can kind of see a fellow in the background sitting on a bench. That's a good proportion. This is like a 10-foot rhododendron and maybe 15, 20 feet across. Next.
And so this was in April, mid-April?
Yes.
Is when these were in bloom.
Yes, they really are. They peak at, and here's the walk all the way out to the ocean. And here's the view at the ocean. It's really worth doing. You'll notice that there's a guard rail or a rope that's to keep you from getting too close to the cliff. The cliffs are completely unstable and they don't want anybody to fall down. So they give you a guide to, no, don't go past here. Hold on to this. It makes it real exciting.
Wow.
Next.
Let's see.
Okay, some more sculptures. This is, I can't imagine how much energy, treasure, and effort has gone into creating this. But you can see this is a lawn walk. Some of the pathways are done in lawn. And you get a sense of the variety. There's everything from heather, a quarter acre of heathers. There's in the fall, there's about a half acre of dahlias. And the person who we had, the dahlia queen who does the San Francisco dahlia, also helped establish theirs. And they have about 40 volunteers who just are devoted to the dahlia garden. So there are different times a year, different things that it features, but you get a sense of the variety. Next.
That lawn walk. I mean, so this is the actual path you're saying.
Yeah, you're actually walking on lawn. Yeah.
Just makes me think so much of English gardens.
Doesn't it look English? Yes, I can tell there's a lot of English nostalgia in this garden.
Yeah, this part.
In the fall, when they have the fabulous dahlias, they also have fabulous tuberous begonias.
Yes.
Incredible.
Their begonias, they have these lath houses full of begonias.
I went to
surrounded.
dahlias and stayed for the begonias.
Yes, exactly.
You know what the blue bush in the background on the right-hand side is? Is that the ceanothus? It almost looks like it might be.
I think it might be, yeah, because it's that time of year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Stunning. Oh, you're making me want to go up there, Landry.
It's worth going, and there are several times of year in which it's
Let's
just
make a field trip.
Yes.
So
Okay. All right.
It's a great place to go.
I've been there, and it is a really wonderful place.
Yeah. Yeah. And they have paths that are workable if you're in a wheelchair, all the way to you really want to be able to hike in order to do it. So a lot of variety for different levels of capacity. Okay, next. Yeah, look at the color in these. These are just so gorgeous.
I wonder if this could be the native rhododendron, the Western azalea.
Ah.
Robin, don't you think? Look at the
Could be, yeah, the color, yeah.
Yeah.
color and the shape.
Mm-hmm.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's
Very
gorgeous.
close up. Yeah.
Is it fragrant? It is.
Very, very fragrant. And many of them are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful picture. Good job.
So here's a sense as you're leaving the garden, coming back from the ocean, and you're walking through the dell, the rhododendrons again, and look at the yellow ones. Who would have thought yellow
Oh,
rhododendron?
this.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
you're kidding.
rhododendrons.
Oh,
Yeah,
good grief. Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
really unusual.
I think you have a close-up of it.
Okay, so now you can see the scale. Look at this person in the little corner here, and then look at the plant above her. I've never seen rhododendrons like this, except, UC Berkeley. That's the only other place. Okay.
Part of it's the climate, right? I mean, you're
Yes.
you're much more north.
You're more
we are, and
north.
you're right
There's-
next to the
there's a lo-
coast.
There's a lot more fog. A lot of the moisture for these plants comes from the fog. And they tolerate the salt. Yep, yellow rhododendrons. There you go.
Not before.
Although that might be azalea, actually. Now, what is that blue thing? Next, yeah, what is that? I know I should know the name of this.
Is it
Lupin? Lupin?
it's
If-
not lupin.
I
Is
don't
it-
think it's lupin. It's very dense,
No, it's
very
not
short.
lupin.
But
Robin, is it that one that starts with a P that Deb Shattle was talking about at the Native Plants? Prunella?
I'm sure it's a native plant, but I don't
Yeah.
know what it is.
Is it flax?
I don't,
Mm-mm.
I don't
No,
think
no,
so.
no, I don't think so. It's
Um,
these little, I
Yeah,
don't-
it's
I
hard to
think-
tell without getting a close up.
Yes, yes. Okay, I'll try and get some more pictures next time I go. Okay. now-
Ajuga?
Ajuga.
Ajuga, that might be it.
That sounds kind of like maybe. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I meant to stay there for a second. I was
That's
trying to
okay.
see if I could zoom in. I think there is a way to zoom, but I can't figure it out.
That's okay. Let's just
Ajuga
keep
is
looking.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you.
okay. And as you can see, the kind of sculptures, the variety in the sculptures is just phenomenal. So you're actually kind of in an art exhibit as well as a plant exhibit.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
wonderful. Thank you so much, Landry, both for your garden and for the Mendocino Garden. You've made us all want to jump in our cars and drive north. So,
Yes.
thank you very much for those tours. And
Oh,
we're
Joyce, great.
coming back to Richmond now, to Joyce's house. Although I must say that house makes me feel like we're in, England. So, Joyce, do you want to talk about your?
This is El Cerrito.
Oh, El Cerrito. I beg your pardon.
Yeah, El Cerrito. So I planted this garden in front with the turquoise stones, and there's miniature snapdragons and lavenders and a whole bunch of different little flowers in it. So next.
A very nice color combination, especially with the stone. I like the close-up of that. Beautiful.
This is my father's prize-winning orchids.
And lots of wonderful little whimsy and sculpture and art.
Yeah.
I presume, this is a sort of shady part of the side of your house, right?
It's what little shade I have, yes.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
This is the entrance to the secret garden. That's Laura Petalum in the distance, that great big purple plant, and the red one is Secret Flower of the Andes, Sacred Flower of the Andes, Cantua buxifolia.
And right here next to the arch, what
That's
is?
Hebe.
Oh, a hebe. Oh.
Yeah, and mirror ball. That's my favorite mirror ball. And bird baths. I love bird baths.
You've got several mirror balls.
Yes. And that's the Meyer lemon in the right-hand corner.
I have had lemons off that tree. Delicious.
Thank you. Next. So another bird bath, and rock rose and cinerarias.
Oh, in all different colors.
Yes.
Mhm. Where did you get your big boulders, your big rocks?
American soil.
Did you pick out, this is the one I want?
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. That's
It's a bench. It's a rock that is really nice to sit on. And when you sit there, you can see the view of the bay.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Next. So this is the black iris. And in the very center, it's a dark purple. And it's in the middle of a monkey flower, the orangey yellow.
And this little red guy?
I don't know. I hope somebody knows what that is.
Kate, don't you have this? I don't recognize this.
I can't really tell, maybe Calibraco, but the stem doesn't look quite right. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's beautiful combination.
Thank you.
That iris is amazing.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, just the
Yeah, I
iris.
love that. That's my favorite iris with the really dark, dark purple.
Those are amazing too. Tiny, but so striking.
Yeah.
That's a gorgeous photo, Joyce.
Thank you.
How parts of it are in focus and parts are blurred. It's stunning.
I used to have the grapes all over the top of the arbor, but the critters got most of them. And so I decided to cut it really way far back. And now I was hoping it would come back, and it has. I'm going to keep it more at eye level.
So delicate.
This may be Asparagus. What do people think?
Is it a
It has
bulb?
no leaves on the stems.
And is it a bulb?
I believe so.
Oh, yeah, it does sort of look like Mallory's Sparaxis a little bit, but a different color.
Yes.
Interesting. Beautiful, beautiful combination.
And
that's a lot of cherries on your tree already.
not as many as last year. I had a large fruit drop this year. I think the drought, the tree just decided that it couldn't produce as much as it usually does. So it dropped a lot. That's feverfew in the big purple pot in the front. And up through it is going to come purple calla lilies. And the purple looks really pretty against the feverfew. And then on the right, those are Watsonias, peach colored Watsonias, and a little peach lantern. And that's a magnolia tree.
Beautiful.
This is a shower curtain with a train on it. And so I have it at one end of my railroad. And that's an apricot tree just to the left, and a miniature pomegranate in the pot on the right, and then a Thai lime in the back left, and then some more mirror balls.
And some wonderful metal birds.
Yes.
Your garden is filled with art.
Thank you. If anyone has not seen my garden, call me up and come see it. It's really at its best right now. This is the train station.
And anyone who hasn't seen it, Joyce has chosen, miniature plants or dwarf plants that go all along the train tracks that really are just so perfect.
Also, my website is at freshpickedband.com, and you can see a 5-minute video of the trains. That's kind of fun. My band is playing there, and there's other recordings from my band. This is the Bluegrass Band, and the little bear on the right-hand corner represents me. That's the Cal Bear playing bass. He's really playing a cello, but I pretend that he's playing bass.
Very, very cute. I love the guitar case open for donations.
Yes, I've done that. I have seating for about 80 people all over the garden. So people can be distanced. Those are the cherry trees, the herb garden, and the magnolia tree on the left. And my edibles are growing in the middle.
You have so many different little seating areas. It's really like lots of little secret gardens. It's very special.
Thank you.
Joyce, will you pull out your bass and play for us?
I might. Yes.
That would be awesome.
This is Baviana. They're bulbs I got from Dorothy.
Wow. Beautiful color. In with violets, I guess.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Cute. Well, this is my favorite picture that you sent.
Yeah. This is a cherry tree with clematis in the middle, the red, yeah, and a purple pot with the feverfew that's going to have the purple calla lilies, and that bench is an English chintz bench, and Moroccan little round tables with little candles and stepping stones and other lanterns.
Do you sit outside very often in the evening?
No.
Do you use it at night? It's too cold.
I can't avoid seeing the weeds.
Oh.
And so I'm always working in the garden. It's so big that it takes a lot of time. And so it's very rare that I get a chance to sit.
But if you sat out there at night with the Moroccan candles, you wouldn't see the weeds.
I suppose that's true. That's a good point. And in the background is cotinus. In the background on the back, on the right, growing on the retaining wall on the right-hand side. Right.
The purple. Mm-hmm.
Cotinus.
Yeah. And then, of course, the train goes right along the top of this wall.
Yes.
Yeah. Fabulous, Joyce. Wow.
The train guys wanted me to cut the cotinus to let the train go through. And I said, no, you're not cutting my cotinus. And they built me a tunnel. And so the train goes through the tunnel and the cotinus lives.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much, Joyce. That's really nice. But of course, much better in person. So if you haven't seen it, call Joyce and make a little date.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Joyce. That was great.
You're very welcome. Thank you for showing it.
All right. Well, Barbara has...
Yes, this is, we garden together, but Diane does most of the work. And then I have a lot of scented geraniums, different fragrances of them. And the hummers and the bees love them. They grow all the time.
You've always had a lovely garden with Bob, of course, but Diane has added so many different things. And one thing she's added, I want to especially point out, in case you forget to say it, is all these saucers with pebbles and water. She has many, many of those throughout the garden for the bees and birds and butterflies to get a little tiny shallow drink.
Yeah, water is the secret. We have many visitors because of the water.
Do you have issues with raccoons because of the water features?
No, they come in at night. We have a camera that shows us. They don't do much damage.
No, but they do attract raccoons. That's the thing. Raccoons, I just have a thing about I don't want raccoons in my, because they carry disease and all kinds of things. So I'm just always a little skeptical about water features.
So we have skunks, we have fox. Last few days we've had I can't think of the name of the bird.
It's going to be at the end of the slideshow.
Okay.
You'll think of it then.
Peacock.
I've got him as the last picture. All right.
Yeah.
These are ones that Diane sent, just showing the lushness, and especially set off by the hill, but the hillside behind your house, which of course at this time of year is starting to be very brown. You know, it's just grass.
That's East Bay mud property. It's nice because nobody can live on it. So let's see, that's my pistache tree that I got from Catherine Frost. And see if I can pick anything else out. We have fruit trees, we have plum, apricot, apple, Asian pear, and a 4-in-1 pear tree. That is very prolific, so we love it. Next. Oh, Cecile Brunner.
No, this one is your Sally Holmes.
Oh, this is the Sally Holmes. It's so much bigger than it looks. It's huge.
It's huge,
It's
yeah.
next to a curly willow tree that I got a 6-inch cutting from D. Prine, and it's now almost 60 feet, I think. So beware.
Well, it's wonderful. It's a wonderful tree. If you have
It
the
is.
room, if you have room for it.
It's at the edge. Yeah, it's nice. Nobody minds it. And there's a lot of native plants in here. I can't say them all right off the top.
Well, this is a ribes right in the pot here.
That is, yes.
A currant. I'm not sure I recognize anything else from this angle.
Right.
Let's see. Here's your Cecile Brunner.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Catherine gave me that when we moved into the house, which is almost 30 years ago.
I love that you remember who gave you these different plants and how
And everything brings me back to a person. I love it.
that is very special in a garden. And this is one of your pears, right?
Yes, that's the pear, 4-in-1 pear
4-in-1.
grafted.
Yeah.
And let's see. I'm not sure if that's the beginning of the rose bush there.
I feel like is it, well, yeah, it does look like a rose.
Yeah.
But I don't know what kind.
And I believe these are euphorbia.
Mm-hmm. With the tiny little scented geranium sticking out.
Right, I have about 6 kinds of scented geraniums.
Diane did a great job.
Loyal friends. Oh, and then we get to this paddle plant that I was given when I was president of Bay Area Rangers Guild. And it's a nice big plant. And next to it, of course, the beautiful succulents that I buy from El Cerrito Garden Club. Don't know the names.
I like those furry little leaves. They look like little bear paws.
They're very pretty, yes.
But that paddle plant is so interesting. So it's blooms, then these blooms will open up, right?
Yes, for a short time. The hummers like them and the bees. I haven't seen many butterflies yet, just a few. Oh, this is another rose geranium, a long-time friend in the garden. The hummers love it. And then this is this a Watsonia?
It looks like the color of a Watsonia. Does somebody?
Yeah, it's very pretty.
Yeah,
I
it
got
looks
it
like
from
a-
another garden club meeting.
Yeah.
And this is from Joyce. the abutilon. It's growing. It's not, I can't say it's thriving, but it is growing and I love it. And next to it is a volunteer, Nicotiana, that came up from I don't know where this year. And it's loaded with tiny flowers that attract a lot of the bees and flower. I think some butterflies have gone to it.
Nicotiana is so fragrant, isn't it?
I haven't noticed a sense of fragrance, no.
I think there's a kind that's fragrant at night. So it must attract moths, you know.
I really can't get out close to it anymore. And the area is too bumpy.
Too bumpy.
So I see it from a distance.
From a distance.
Oh, bird of paradise, we love those. We've had about 5 blooms already this year, which is unusual. And we have them in several places. Oh, it's Bob's favorite for flower arranging.
It's so sculptural and weird.
It is, it's a beautiful plant. And sometimes it opens twice the size, because there's another little plant in this hard stem. You can open it and pull it out. Let's see. Oh, that's a bee on our rosemary. And the rosemary bloomed for a long time, but there's no more flowers right now. And this is the Autism rose bush. I got on a garden tour someplace. Catherine has made cuttings of that, and of course for her they grow. Anybody wants to try a cutting, you're welcome to it. It's pretty good size now.
Beautiful, beautiful dark red.
Oh, this is a plant stand that I got from Betty Coates. I have to say that first.
Oh, Betty.
And then it's lavender and help me out with the white flower. I can't remember it.
Is it Bacopa?
Yes, thank you. And we have a grouping of it there. And then over here is a freesia growing under the lemon tree. It's a Eureka lemon because the Meyer lemon wouldn't grow for me.
Fun. Nice.
Okay. Of course, I love my succulents. And I've bought some of them from other places, but a lot of them are from El Cerrito Garden Club in pots.
They have such unusual shapes, don't they?
Yes. And this is the Pollinator Garden, it says right there, overlooking my neighbor's huge pine tree, which the birds love to live in, and all kinds of pollinator plants that Diane has gotten from here and there, a lot from Annie's annuals.
Here are some of the saucers that I was talking
Yes,
about.
she puts them with a lot of stones so that the bees don't drown.
Mm-hmm.
She goes out to check them all the time. And they don't hold a lot of water, but enough water.
And we've got some close-ups of the pollinator garden here too.
Yes. She has put in a lot of pretty things.
Yeah, so she's really chosen very specifically to
Yes,
make this part of the garden.
I have a map of the garden and names of all the plants. And then these are some new plants that she put in. The bees love this one. I think it's a catnip.
This purple one?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably a kind of cat mint, maybe?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Cool.
And here we have some of my old plants, like the bay tree in there. And that's a mullein. They make such a beautiful, lush statement. This is the first year for the mullein. And in a while, a long shoot will come up with yellow flowers with soft looking material around it. They grow very easily. And then some more of the native plants.
And I noticed these gopher cages or protections around.
They're protection from the birds. The birds want to come and eat everything tender before it gets to grow. So she's tried to put some protection up for them. All these planters have wire underneath to protect from gophers, but it's not 100%, and they're getting old. They might be rotting.
I'll say that Diane also scatters birdseed on the ground, and there are dozens of birds all over this garden every time I go there.
Yes. And the quail are back. We have 2 pairs of quail that have come back for the 3rd year. And they're over on the other side, behind the fence, in the thick growth of plants and things that are behind the fence. They love it there.
And then the males sit up on the fence and keep watch. It's so
They,
cute.
they protect the females when they come to eat. It's quite beautiful. Beautiful bird. And it's the state bird. And here we have, I have a certified wildlife habitat with my name on it, although it's a lot of Diane.
Well, I'm very proud of you for getting that, and
Thank you.
I think it's wonderful. Now this is Diane's secret garden.
Yes,
So
it
now
is.
tell a little bit about that.
Well, she's taken a lot of my metal stands that were all over the place and she's put them there. And then on the right is old geraniums on that metal stand. And then below are several kinds of
herbs,
lavender. And then I don't know the names of all her plants there, but they're just beautiful. And she can see these from her window, from her bedroom window.
Right. So one of the big changes that she made when she moved in was she chose window views and moved plants so that when you're sitting at that window, that you see it.
Yes, it's really fun.
Which is really
Every window has a view. And there's a big hummingbird feeder there that she has to fill twice a day.
Oh my gosh. My goodness.
And that's some more of it. Geraniums, the shed, and some plants that I don't remember the names of, but they're thriving. And another bee bath.
Bee bath.
Birds can come to it too.
It's wonderful.
And here we are. Our peacock, he's here again today. He comes regularly to visit. And the hummingbirds try to chase him away.
This is a real peacock?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not yours?
It's not mine. He comes over to visit our sanctuary.
Do you know whose it is?
No, we've tried to find out.
Wow.
Do you know there are feral ones?
Huh.
There are a lot of feral.
I had no
peacocks.
idea.
And he is so beautiful. And she talks to him and feeds him a little bit.
So have you heard them cry where it sounds like somebody being murdered?
No,
It's pretty awful.
I know they can be, but I know they also have a lot of, what's the word I can use politely?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, big ones.
Which I think will be good fertilizer.
I hope so.
Sure.
Well, he's
Wow,
pretty
that's
big.
really amazing. I never knew that there were peacocks. This is El Cerrito, is it?
No, this is El Sobrante.
Oh, El Sobrante. Huh?
And you know, there in El Sobrante, there are a lot of tiny farms. The people up here are real
Yeah,
growers,
yeah,
they're
it's
also
true.
animals.
Yep. I guess that makes a little bit more sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very cool.
we put a blurb out on Nextdoor, but nobody has answered.
Well, maybe it's feral. That's so bizarre.
It could be.
We had peacocks in El Cerrito too. They're wild
You do?
out here. Yeah.
Where do you see them?
Well, I saw them about 5 years ago. They were living right on the big rock at the corner of Cutting and the Arlington.
Oh, wow.
They had to come and remove 30 of them at some place or other
Yeah,
because they were just taking over.
Animal
They
control came.
relocated them.
yeah.
Animal control, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, I just had no idea.
Isn't
That's
it
very,
wonderful?
very
Look at
interesting.
Yeah, we have over 100 birds that come. I have a list of them.
Do you put it into eBird?
No, I haven't.
Because I think people look at eBird, you know, to figure out what's what.
I will try to look it up.
I
eBird.
think that would be fun for Diane, I bet.
I think it
keep up
would.
with that. That's great.
Yeah, yeah.
We have a lot of visiting cats that come and annoy me because I like birds. You don't have cats coming to eat your birds with all that bird seed on the ground?
No, we only have one cat who visits at night. We see him on the camera. He walks through with behind the skunks and the fox.
Yeah. Well,
it's an animal sanctuary.
I think having the peacock could certainly keep stray cats away.
Yeah, it might.
If that ever was a problem in the future.
The hummers are trying to get rid of him. They don't like him there.
No, that's a real David and Goliath story,
It
isn't it?
is, but he's not chased yet.
Oh, wonderful, Barb. Thank you. And thanks so much to Diane for all these photos.
Diane works very hard at this.
It's absolutely beautiful.
So
All
thank
right.
you.
We're going to leave your beautiful sanctuary and we're going to go to Louise's beautiful sanctuary in Richmond.
Yes, so this tree in the back is a bonsai weeping blue spruce, a Japanese spruce.
Ooh.
And I believe this was a Watsonia. And this big sculpture I bought at the El Cerrito art show, and it's by Lindsay Reichman, who's also a master gardener. And it's quite large. You can't really see it. It's a dragon and his feet are garden tools. And this wonderful little pinwheel comes from this great shop on the top of Solano called Ferns. She has an incredible selection of these beautiful pinwheels. And you can't see it very well, but there's also succulents growing in here. And my crazy bottles become part of my yard art. Okay.
Yeah, and then the second picture is your back deck.
Okay, so here's my back deck and my new sculpture, which is butterflies on this wonderful trellis. And it's by Ernie and Lois Rich, and you'll see some of their other work in other slides. And at the bottom, I have a bowl of succulents. And I can see this great sculpture from my kitchen window. And behind it are some really wild nightshade.
The beautiful purple flowers.
My garden is heavy in roses. When I met my husband, I found out that we both loved roses. Believe this is a Joseph's coat, but I'm not 100%. It's my favorite rose to bring inside because it lasts an incredibly long time in floral arrangements. And this is my front yard. It's under a weeping cherry. And there's the Joseph's coat on the right, and my new acquisition from Benicia gallery show that was benefiting the Ukrainian children. I had to have the face vase.
Oh, that is great for flower arranging.
Yes, I'm delighted to have it. I had children came to the garden and painted flower pots, and the views of them give you some of the things that are in the garden. So that's the New Zealand flax in the background, which is kind of wild and crazy. And this is one of my favorite benches that my first husband and I carted out from a shop. When did you know it? Call from one shop. Garbage calls. They carted out from a shop in now I can't think of the name of it. Pier 39. Pier 39. And the roses here in the background are Bush Central Cecil Brunner and a lion's tail.
Yeah, which too
here
bad
on
that's
the
not
right,
a bloom.
which blooms with really great orange flowers.
Fun.
It was great to have the kids in the garden. This is my friend who's now living with me, Katie. She's sitting next to the climbing rose that is just, this picture was taken a week ago and there's about double that number of blooms right now. Wow. A really lush, happy rose. And this is my volunteer valerian, which is going kind of crazy in the front yard.
And plant sale people will recognize your front hedge. As
Right. So
the
this is a
table.
big, long box hedge that I trimmed by hand. So the plant sale could be on top of it.
Perfect. Oh, yes.
This on the left is my garden gate by the same sculptors who did the one that you saw on the deck, Ernie and Lois Rich. I fell in love with it when I went into their shop, and it's in the shape of bamboo, and the latch is a dragonfly. And this is the little entrance to the garden. And this is a smoke tree, which is really gorgeous this time of year. In the winter, it gets all rangy in branches, bare branches, but I really love it this time of the year. It's such a great contrast to the greens. And the garden gate opening, I still haven't taken down my Christmas lights that were on there.
So is this the gate that you got from Ernie and Lois Rich? Are they're in Richmond on Jacuzzi Street? I was just looking them up.
They were on Jacuzzi. Unfortunately, they've moved to Hawaii.
Oh.
And when they had their going away sale is when I bought that sculpture that's on the deck.
Too bad.
Yes, they're really wonderful. I don't know if they would ship, but it would probably be very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's another of theirs.
And this is this arch is what I started out buying at their shop. And this is a climbing charisma rose, which is doing quite well on and again, it's blooming much greater at the moment. In the background are the ornamental plum or maybe ornamental cherries that are on the strip in the front of the house. And my seating area that I like to sit and look back at the garden. And this is a fragrant geranium, which I believe I took as a clip from Martha.
I think so. We've seen it at many plant sales from either you or me or someone else.
Right.
It's quite prolific.
And this is a rose I have not been able to identify. It's round and kind of floppy.
I don't know. We'll have to look it up.
And this great little sculpture that my son gave me. And a detail of the arbor gate.
And then more of the rose.
More details of the climbing charisma. And hydrangeas, which this is from last year, they're just getting ready to bloom, but they're great variety of colors when they come out. and some of my crazy succulents that I think are kind of enjoyable because they do crazy things. And these are nasturtiums, which were volunteers in amongst the succulents. Nice contrasted colors. And I believe that this red rose is salsa. And I don't know what this rose is. It's just an incredible, blooms really large, but doesn't do well picked. So it's one that I watch in the garden.
The one on the right might be angel face.
Ah, thank you.
That's what I got in my garden.
Thank you.
Thanks, Fawn. Beautiful.
This is the front yard with a red rose that I haven't identified, and lots of crazy nasturtiums.
You welcome volunteers like I do.
And this rose was given to me when my husband passed away. It's the most fragrant rose I've ever had, entitled Sentiment.
Sentimental. So stripy and nice.
Yeah, it's really a beauty. And that's the same rose with lots of buds. This is a salvia, which happily attracts many hummingbirds, and a heather below my back deck. And this is a little seating area with one of my favorite sculptures from Philip Evans, a sculptor who was in Fairfax, but I'm not sure he's relocated now. But it's a balancing sculpture. Everything is balancing and comes apart. This one is a ship. And these are the remnants of my wonderful weeping birches that had to be taken down because they died of the drought, or perhaps old age. And I have a lot of geraniums growing back here.
And you didn't send pictures of this, but where the birches were, you've put in a lot of natives now.
Right. I have started natives, and they're going to be on the right of this. And Ceanothus, Manzanita, Gilla, monkey flower. So it's becoming a happy place again.
Yeah, good. Well, thank you, Louise. Thanks. That's so beautiful.
I wanted to make a remark here that Martha took, as you can see, she's on the 119th slide, and organized them for us. And I'm so very grateful, Martha. Thank you.
Thank you, Louise. And just as you were talking a minute ago, I remembered that I had said that Bernadette could go first with her slideshow. And Bernadette, I'm so sorry, I completely forgot, even though 1 minute before the meeting, we talked about it. So I hope you're still here, and I'm almost finished, and then it will be your turn to show your beautiful garden. I really apologize. This is my deck, my back deck, and I'm struck by the fact that if I pruned this rose, I would have a view of San Francisco back here, but I like the rose better. And the rose blooms all year, really, not just 11 months, but this is its biggest month right now. And this is an orchid cactus I got from Dorothy that actually has buds and is about to bloom, I think. Yeah, I wish I spent more time on my back deck, but it's noisy because of the freeway. This is, I took these pictures because I want to make sure people know that your garden doesn't have to be perfect for a tour. Mine is a big mess. And I just thought, well, I'm just going to show them. I've let everything kind of be overgrown, and I'm trying to attract pollinators, and it's pretty messy back there. Although actually I've trimmed some of the stuff you see since this picture was taken. But as you can see, it's just kind of a jungle. This little teepee is a self-watering planter that has scarlet runner beans planted. So I'm hoping that those will do pretty well. And this cardboardy thing is a terrible remnant of not lawn, but a weedy area that got full of wild onions. And so I decided to sheet mulch it and do something else. So for right now, it's just cardboard.
So, you know, Martha, the one thing about having a messy garden is it's very good. It's a nice little ecosystem. It's very good for insects and birds and stuff like that. Messy is sometimes the best thing.
Well, and that has been my excuse, Robin, for not cutting anything back, because I keep thinking, well, I can't take out that acre of parsley because there might be a caterpillar on it, or the bees need these flowers or whatever. So thank you for understanding.
And I love your backyard garden. I'm jealous of its fecundity.
Oh, thank you. My goodness. Thank you very much. This is one of my favorite little spots. This is new, actually, a part that I've planted with, I tried to plant with mostly natives. They haven't all succeeded. This salvia, which isn't blooming in this photo, but it is blooming in real life, is the most fragrant salvia I've ever experienced, the Cleveland sage. It's a native. And behind it, I have a penstemon, which bloomed last year but isn't blooming this year. And then behind that is what I think is going to be a little bunch of milkweed if it comes back. And as you see, I let the nasturtiums do whatever they want. This is my kind of favorite volunteer in the garden, this Verbena bonariensis, that gets really, really tall, and bees and butterflies seem to nectar from it all the time. I'm trying to add more natives. This tiny little plant next to the red flag is a coffee berry. And back on that strip, I also have a toyon planted. And then coral bells and salvia. I'm not sure how to incorporate more natives when I already have so many plants planted, but I'm working on that. This is a butterfly bush, one of 5 that I have, which I do appreciate for their flowers. This is the Gertrude Jekyll rose, very fragrant, and my only sort of fancy rose. And then you see this is all self-sown parsley absolutely everywhere. I never cut it back. But I actually did take some of it out yesterday. So here you see how wild everything is, and you see how tall those verbenas get. The Verbena bonariensis, these are probably 5 or 6 feet tall on these long stalks, and they come up everywhere. And then you can see some, this yellow is sticky monkey flower, and there's another little monkey down here, the red. And then this yellow in the background is the Mexican marigold, Tagetes. Oh, sorry. My phone is going. And then the rose, here you can see the rose. I'm sorry, my vet is calling me. The rose, which is eating my house. It's so enormous, but I really love how lush it is. And this is the view from my downstairs rental unit. My tenant has this view, and I just really think it's kind of great, and I wish that I had that kind of a view from any of my windows, but I don't. And that is all of this part of the slideshow. And then if Bernadette, I'm so sorry. Bernadette has a beautiful little PowerPoint of her garden not too long, and I meant to have her go first, and I just completely blanked on it. So now Bernadette, and I'm going to mute myself so you don't hear my
phone. Can you hear me, everybody?
Yes.
Okay, so this first picture is what our backyard looked like. Thank you, Martha. No worries. What our backyard looked like in 2016. In the right-hand side, you can see a square coop. That was where our first set of chickens used to live. And in 2016, we didn't have them anymore. So first set used to free range. That's why there's all grass, because they eat everything. So we didn't even bother to plant anything back when we had the first set of chickens. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot of anything back there other than grass. Let's see, let's get from the beginning. Next slide. Can you see that? Zoom slide. There we go. I'm trying.
We can see it. I mean, you're not in slideshow mode, but it doesn't matter. We can see it.
I see it beautifully, clearly.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
So hubby has, what do you call it? One of those cameras that fly in the air.
A drone.
A drone. So this is a recent picture of our backyard. So this was like last week. So you can see we no longer have grass. We have a little bit that's along this fence, which you can't really tell, but we have just different areas. So I don't know if you can go, I'll go back to the last picture. Can you see that right here is an olive tree right here. Now it's huge. So 5 years, so we have 2 olive trees, little patio area. This is our neighbor's backyard. Now here's taking it looking back. So we have a terrace, because you step out and then you have to walk up the steps over here to get into the upper part of our backyard. And here's the coop, chicken coop, where we have 4 chickens now. This is our edibles garden, kind of, sort of. Tomatoes that we put in bags, strawberries, all our lettuce, bok choy, carrots, more tomato back here, potatoes in these bags. A little bit of a close-up. I got this from you, Robin, the currant plant. Thinking about California natives, getting there. Here's another picture looking back. So we had 2 trees in our backyard, incense cedars, that were just cut down because they were totally dead. So here's one stump that was left. Can barely tell here, but this is a sunflower that I got from Robin that is humongous. It's getting even bigger. It died off, but I kept a stem. I didn't cut it all the way off, and then this grew off of it. So right here we have our asparagus that we planted this year, and we figure by the time we're 70, we'll be celebrating because we'll have lots of asparagus ready to eat. So we've got 3 bags of that. The seeds that were given to me when for a new garden member that were in the packet we planted here. I think those are daisies of some sort. Here's my cement brick swirl garden. Our tomatoes love it, so we grow there, and you can see our scented geranium over here, which totally takes up most of the backyard.
The one thing about Bernadette, about your stone thing for your tomatoes is presumably the stones retain heat at night and keep the soil warm, which is one of the problems we have in our part of the world growing tomatoes. So that's a great idea.
And that's why these tomatoes we have all the way usually until, gosh, November.
Yeah,
I think is when we still, but I had to see all this here. This was all covered by my scented geranium. So I had to clean it all up, and I still have a little bit more on the side to go.
Bernadette, you know
Yes.
that you rotate tomatoes. They should not be in the same place year after year because they can get the diseases.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. We do replace the dirt, the majority of the dirt in there. So every year we pull out half of it and we give it to the chickens, let them dig in it, and then we put in new dirt. So far we've been kind of lucky. We haven't had any yet, but who knows? This is a piece of art that my husband did with scrap pieces of wood that we had in the yard, kind of mimicking New Mexico, the Zia sign in a sense. And the lines that are around it on the side are solar lights that we have throughout the backyard. So at night, there's green, yellow, multicolored throughout the whole backyard. And here's a recent picture of our chickens, of our girls in their coop. They're not allowed to roam too much. I do have a little run for them, but they're not allowed to get near my plants. And if you kind of look over here, this succulent went all the way to the gate. And there's not much left because they chew on it. So I've kind of limited their fence for their run away from it so they're not eating the plant. And then here's another view. Here's our squash, cucumber, melon, climbing beans, which are coming. And then we have some sweet peas that we're starting on this side. We're trying to create a barrier from our backyard neighbors because the trees came down. And so now they look directly into our yard from their deck. And they're out there a lot. So I'm sure they're not paying attention, but I see them and I'd rather not. One of our water features are a tortoise we have running. And then we have a beautiful maple that was given to me as a Mother's Day gift from my son-in-law a bunch of years ago. I almost killed it because I had it in the sunniest part of the yard, but thankful I read about it and realized it needed some shade. So it gets a little bit of shade there most of the day. And then a fairy garden that my daughter did for me a couple of years ago, also for Mother's Day, that I try to keep alive with succulents. And then we have a deck in our backyard. So if you go up the deck, you got a beautiful view of the city. Right now it has mainly lots of solar panels on it because we're running a number of things in our yard from that. And then we have some horsetail that I do my best to try and keep alive throughout the yard. Salvia over here that Martha gave me. Thank you, Martha. And then another olive tree. And this is growing in our front yard. And it's actually, this was taken, I think, last week. It's now probably 3 feet taller. So I'm waiting to see what kind of bloom we'll be getting out of that one. And that's it.
What is that, Bernadette?
I think it's a century plant of some sort.
That's what it looks like to me. Although the base, are those base leaves correct for a century plant?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. I just know that we planted this in 1998. One of these, just one. And this is the first time it's bloomed. But it's given me all these babies.
It looks like a giant asparagus.
Just Googling century plants, they have more sort of yucca-like leaves. So it's some variant.
I tried looking it up and I couldn't figure it out. So I'll try
you should take a picture of it with iNaturalist on your phone or something and see if it can be identified that way.
Cool. And then right behind it is a Foxtel Agave. And we've gotten 2 blooms out of this plant since we've put it in there. And oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. It probably grows 7 feet tall and it yellow flowers, the entire thing. So, but once it flowers, it dies. So we're waiting for this one to bloom. But there are other babies that come up. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Bernadette. That's wonderful. And I think that the drone pictures from Jean's drone are a wonderful way to see the whole scene from above. It's really great.
We should get drone pictures of everybody's gardens.
Wouldn't that be fun? Maybe Jean could go around and do some dronage for us.
I hear him laughing in the background. How much are they going to pay me?
Oh, Jean, we'll give you baked goods.
There you go.
Treats.
Chocolate.
Oh,
Treats.
that was really special. Thank you. Thanks to everyone who shared their photos. It was so wonderful to see people's plants and people's gardens and just what people wanted to share was very
Everybody should unmute and applaud Martha for this incredible job.
Yes, yes, indeed. Thank you, Martha. Thank you. What a great job all year.
Oh, thanks. Thank you, everybody. It's nice to have such an appreciative and friendly group, I must say. Does anyone else have any announcements or comments that I probably didn't let you do earlier because I was talking too much?
So Martha, did you guys talk about the 4th of July at all?
I did mention the 4th of July. Please mention it again if you want. I said we would have a table shared with your group and probably not sell plants, but maybe have some giveaways or maybe a few things for sale, but have lots of information. What would you like to, and that we needed some volunteers? What would you like to
the main thing is just, it can sort of be whatever we all want it to be. So we could sell plants, we don't have to. It could just be a few, whatever. But I'm more concerned about whether anybody's interested in sitting there for an hour or two. So you don't have to reply now, but maybe we can send it. Okay, so Bernadette, Landry, Martha, that's good. That's that's probably plenty. And I can do some also.
Yeah. And
cool, thanks.
We can mention it also in the next newsletter and
we could send out an email or whatever.
Make it sound fun,
It is fun, actually.
It is
Just talking to gardeners, I actually really enjoy doing that.
It'll be great. Thanks, Rob.
Cool. Thank you.
Barbara.
Yeah. One last thing I'd like you to see is lemongrass growing in water.
Oh.
You see it?
Look how big it is.
Look how big it is. And it's sprouting more and more. And there are a lot of things that you can do, a lot of plants that you can do this with. I bought it specially just to do this, to see how much it would grow. But I imagine I can use all these little growths in cooking if I were cooking.
Thank you. Yeah, a lot of things also will re-sprout. I did a project with the children at the library last year where we found out what vegetables you could put, cut off the bottoms and put in water and would regrow. Things like leeks and green onions will make new roots in water and then have new tops.
Almost over.
It's very fun to do that. Thank you. Thanks. Anything else? Well, thank you so much, everybody, for coming. And don't forget, board meeting next week. Also, native plants meeting and the following week. Oh, and flower group meeting next week and the following week. Edibles meeting. My goodness, what a busy group. I appreciate you all. And please let me know if I forgot anything. And otherwise, I will see you soon. Thank you so much, everybody, for sharing.
Thanks, Martha.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. What a good group. Bye.
Bye.